I'm going to get this recording started. Welcome. Thanks for joining us today. We are so glad to have you here again and participating in this incredible rally experience. So thank you for being a part of it today. I am really pleased to kick this new rally series off with our special guest, Alyssa Francis. She is one of our wonderful leaders in Young Living. She's a Royal Crown Diamond and really just brings an incredible amount of fun and generosity and value to Young Living. And Alyssa, I'm just wondering if you can share your story really quick before you dive into how you've been running rallies and doing such great events. I really love your story, and just quickly, for those of you that don't know you, I think it would be really special for them just to hear a little bit about who you are and what you do within your Young Living community and with your teams. So, for all of you, I hope you get a good chance to listen to this now. I know many of you will be listening to this on the recording later, and especially some of our global participants who have joined our Facebook page and are trying to catch up on different calls within different time zones. So welcome, whether you're listening live or whether you're listening later. We're just so happy to have you. So Alyssa, if you want to take it from here.
Sure thing. Hi, Tina, and everyone
Hi.
else. Thank you so much for having me today. Thank you for the lovely introduction. It's just an honor to be a part of this movement. I love the rallies. I love this topic. But sure, I'll be happy to share a little bit about my Young Living story. For those of you who don't know, I became a Young Living member in February of 2012, so coming up on 6 years, and I had absolutely no intention of building a business. In fact, I just wanted oils, and I didn't even want to try NYX or Red or Thieves, just no interest at all in any of that. But I fell in love with the oils pretty quickly, and I got on Essential Rewards right away because I heard the word free and discount. And part of my background, my history is that I was an extreme couponer for a long time. And so anything free, frugal, deal was right up my alley. And I had sort of abandoned that lifestyle because there really isn't anything quite healthy about extreme couponing. So I had made a shift in my life for my children. I was looking for a better way to support my children's health and wellness. And when I found the oils, it was like, this is it. This is what I've been looking for. Jumped right in, and I wanted to get them paid for. I hosted a class. My first class was in April of 2012. And I really didn't know what I was doing. Just jumped in and figured it out. It was so much fun. It was an awesome ride. I hit Diamond about 18 months later. Although please don't compare your story to mine. That's not something you ever want to do. And then I've been a Royal Crown Diamond for just over 3 years. I lead Team Oily Families. I have amazing leaders and people under me. But I'm also super passionate about helping everyone where they're at in Team Young Living. And so that's why the topic of Live Your Passion Rallies, or YL Unites, is just it's so near and dear to my heart, because I know that there are so many people out there that are just jumping into this business and trying to figure it out. And so if you can hear from someone along the way who's been there and done it successfully, I think that makes all the difference in the world, especially if you are new. So, Tina, did you want me to just transition right into?
I think so. I love your story. I really appreciate it. I just wanted everyone to kind of know a little bit of who you are. I think the amazing thing about you is you've done so many events and so many wonderful events. So I really consider you a wonderful expert and a resource for everybody on the call. So, how did you get started with events, and then, of course, more specifically, even utilizing the Live Your Passion rallies?
Absolutely. I will just say I don't consider myself an expert, by the way. I think anybody can jump in and figure out how to run an event well. If you've attended enough events, or if you go to church, or if you hear presentations, you know what works and what doesn't work. And so that's kind of just how I got started with event hosting and planning, was just from my experience of attending events myself. And then, when the rallies started, nobody had ever been to one before. They were a totally new concept to Young Living. Tina, I think you had just joined the company pretty recently, and you weren't in charge of rallies yet.
No.
And so it was like everybody just had to kind of jump in and figure out what was this new concept and how were we going to make it work. And no one really knew if it would even work. In fact, I was kind of skeptical about the whole thing. I didn't understand, the vision or why we were having them quarterly. And now looking back, we've had, 5 rallies, I believe. It's just been amazing. It's just created so much momentum within the company. I love that these rallies really empower us as business owners. There's a sense of freedom to do whatever you want with these rallies and make them your own. And that's what I love, because in no other industry would we have this kind of freedom to sort of take what our company is offering us and mold it and shape it and transform it into something amazing that speaks to us and speaks to our team in our own personal way. It's also not something that Young Living has to do for us. It is truly like a gift from Young Living. The only thing Young Living has to do is provide us with the products that we sell and provide us with feedback, and everything else is just icing on the cake. And so to be able to have this structure from Young Living where we can count on amazing new content and potentially promos every 3 months to really fuel our business and keep that momentum going is just such a gift, Tina. And I'm so grateful for your team and everybody who works hard behind the scenes to create this content for us, because it has done amazing things for our company. The numbers don't lie. So
yeah, no, it's an awesome thing. We actually count it as a privilege, and it's a real teaming up between corporate and field, I think, in one of the most unique ways that we do with anything else in the company. We provide the content, but you get to deliver, that out to your team members, how you want to, make it happen. And so maybe let us know a little bit about how you utilize the videos that we get, but then how you add to the show flow of the day, so to speak, and maybe talking about other guest speakers or doing giveaways. How do you decide how to round out the day for your members?
Sure. So I think it really depends on, what size event are you hosting? That's going to make all the difference in the world. If you're going to do, a larger venue with 200 people, or if you're doing an event in your living room, I've done both. They're both going to look a little bit differently, but I definitely consider the rallies to be a team effort. They are not a one-woman show. And so bringing in different people from your team, or maybe your upline or crossline, or of course, even corporate sometimes does that for us. Bringing in different voices and kind of the way I break up the flow of the day is I like to follow the format that corporate gives us, because it's really well done. You guys put a lot of thought into the flow of the videos and the PowerPoint. But then I insert my own speakers and my own topics that I'm passionate about. And that can be, anything from the compensation plan training, or what I did at my last rally. We had a speaker who talked about savvy minerals. We had a speaker talk about winter wellness. We had someone talk about different gift ideas for the holidays using young.
We've frozen just a little bit, I think. Are you back? Let's see.
I'm getting the unstable notice from my internet.
Yeah, there you are. We lost you for just a second, but you were talking about, no, you're good. You were talking about gifts for the holidays you had talked about, and winter wellness. And I think those are fantastic things. So you're really paying attention to the seasons. You're paying attention to what's coming up in that next quarter and what some of your members could really utilize as information and topics from experts. So how do you do this? Do you mainly work within your upline, downline leaders, or have you found that it's great to go crossline?
I've done it all.
Okay.
I've done small rallies. I've done, my largest was 1,000 people, and that actually it was not just a rally. It was an all-day event that I host every spring. And so I'm gearing up to do that again in the month of April, combining it with a rally. But I love working crossline. And upline, downline. We're a family.
Yeah, that's awesome. I think, for the newbies that are on this call or will be listening later, I just wanted to stress that it does work all different ways. And I think if you're able to find any willing body that you get along with and can work with well, I think it's a real benefit to jump in and make your rally as large and robust as possible. So I think that's a great tip to, you can do it multiple different ways, multiple different venues. I think you and I had talked, Alyssa, about, anyone who is new, what would be your key things for someone who's trying to do a rally for the first time, or even just considering, this is maybe a little bit scary to them. What would you suggest?
I think that's such an important topic because our company's growing so quickly. We've grown so much just since last year. And so we do have new people that are going to be watching this Zoom and listening and wondering like, hey, is this something that I have to do? Is this something that I should do? And so there are some questions that you want to ask yourself before you jump in. Because really, if I can just be completely transparent with everyone on this call, planning and executing a rally is not building your business. It's not the same thing. The goal of these rallies is really about a member experience. It's not about actually like bringing in new people and enrollments. Maybe that does happen from time to time, but that hasn't been the real result that I've seen from these rallies. The result is we have members that are all on fire and they're all getting company information together, but this isn't growing your business. And so you really want to ask yourself before you make the commitment to jump in and actually host and execute a rally, how is this going to benefit you and your team? And there are, of course, many benefits, but you want to make sure that it's going to be worth your time. I'm at a different place in my business than probably a lot of you. And so for me, I love to stretch myself personally and professionally. I consider every single rally to be a great challenge. My personality type is I thrive under deadlines. I thrive under pressure. And so if you're new, you guys, you need to know that you're not going to get the content from Young Living until the week of the event. So if that scares you, you might not want to jump in and do this. That doesn't scare me. I love it. I'm like, okay, Thursday, bring it on. Like, let's do this. Let's get the PowerPoint done. Or the night before. Yes, even the night before sometimes. And that just works for me and my personality and my team. My graphic designer is a night owl and we'll be up till midnight the night before working on the PowerPoint. And that's just how we roll. So that is something that you want to know before you jump in. Another important thing is if you are new and you're thinking about hosting a rally, have you attended one before and see how this runs? I don't think it would be all that wise to jump in and do this if you haven't already attended a rally in the past. So that is super important. That's how you learn to run events, is by attending them and watching and just learning from other people that are going before you and kind of paving that road. Another question to ask yourself is, what kind of network do you already have? If you are a star, a senior star executive, your team, you might not have enough people locally to really make it worth your while. So maybe it would make more sense then to team up with someone cross-line or go and support your uplines event rather than do your own. Because again, this is not going to build your business. It's going to stretch you, it's going to push you, it's going to challenge you, but it's not going to build your business. And then another thing you need to ask yourself before you jump in is, do you have a good basic understanding of technology? Because the content that you're going to get from Young Living is going to be two ways. You're going to have things that you need to download onto a device. That device has to work, and that device has to be large enough to hold videos and PowerPoint presentations. And so one thing that I did, and of course you don't have to do this, I'm not saying you have to do this, but last year when I realized that these rallies, these were going to be a quarterly thing, like we were going to keep doing them. I invested in a new laptop, which I needed anyway, but it was like, hey, it makes sense. I should have a good laptop. I bought a MacBook Pro. It was a tax deduction. I knew that I could get the content on there that I needed and run a PowerPoint presentation off of it. And then I invested in the most recent version of PowerPoint because tax write-off is always nice, right? But you want to make sure that when you get this content from Young Living, that you're going to be able to use it and actually deliver it to your people in a presentation. So those are just some things to consider. Is your equipment 7 years old? If so, it might not work to download the content that you need. So that's something to think about.
I think that's great information. And these are things that will serve you if you're truly thinking of Young Living as a business. You know, it might take a little bit of investment up front. And if you don't have the investment, find somebody who does. Find someone who's a techie person or just got a brand new computer, and, you know, recruit them into helping you out with this kind of event. Because as Alyssa said, you really need to have PowerPoint. You really need to have a good, strong computer and some measure of computer skills. And even if you don't have the videos, you can practice downloading things and putting them into PowerPoint if that's the way you want to run it. It doesn't have to be inserted into a new PowerPoint. You can actually play the videos one by one. That works just as well. But as long as you know how to do the downloading and you're not going to be, you know, anxious right up until the last minute, I think, you know, you want to prepare as much as possible. And so, yeah, think of these things as good business training and things you can, the skill set, honestly, you will use throughout your business year in, year out. You know, you can pop to someone's home, you can quickly find a video, you'll have those things downloaded on your computer. You will genuinely find that this kind of training and utilizing this platform is wonderful for you all throughout your career. So,
these are valuable skills to have, to learn, to foster, to develop.
Yeah, exactly. Anything else you want to share?
Yes, I have a couple more things to share.
Okay.
So one thing I see a lot of questions in the group that I am a part of, the large rally group, a lot of people are interested in hosting events online, on Facebook, on online platforms. And I think that's wonderful. It's another way to kind of bring your community together. Let's say you're not local to all of your people. It's a wonderful platform and idea. But one thing to know is that Young Living is not responsible for making sure that the content they're delivering is going to work with the format that you're going to be presenting. So you're going to have to get creative and you know, do your due diligence to figure out, well, how do I get this video off of Vimeo and then upload it into my Facebook event? That's going to be your responsibility. So just keep that in mind. Talk to people who've done it before. If you've never run an online Facebook event and you're not sure how video sharing works, that's super important to kind of know ahead of time, not the night before, but ahead of time, how you're going to actually execute an online event. And again, I can't stress this enough. It's not Young Living's responsibility to be your tech support. So you're going to have to figure it out, jump in and get it done. And you know what? It always works out in the end. It really does. A couple other tips. When you're working with a team of people and you're, you know, executing an event together, it really doesn't work to have everybody in charge. So you want to designate one person as the leader. That's so important. And maybe that person is the one actually signing the contract with the venue and writing the check. Or maybe that's the person that's opening up their home. But having one leader and then people that work well with someone who's delegating, that just is so much easier than trying to have, you know, 5 different voices giving input all the time. At the end of the day, you just need somebody to make decisions and make them well. And then another tip would be to ask for volunteers. Whenever I do events, I have people coming out of the woodwork. People want to help with these events. They want to feel like they are part of something bigger than themselves. And what better way than to pull them in and let them shine? Just figure out what these people's strengths are. Like at my last event, I had people that were great greeting at the door, but then I had other people that were better helping Young Living pack orders. They were more behind the scenes. So figure out people's personalities. Another tip is that you want to keep your volunteers fed. I think that's really critical.
Yes.
Fed volunteers, they will make your event run smoother. So I try to, you know, always make sure that they have a meal provided to them when they're volunteering at my event, because that keeps them happy. And then my last tip, and then if you have any more questions for me, Tina, I'm happy to share. But my last tip is to presentation time. People kind of tune you out about 20, maybe 30 minutes into a presentation. So keep your presenters to that time frame. You know, a 1 hour keynote or a 2 hour keynote is, you're going to lose people. You just will. So yeah, those are my tips. Any other questions for me?
I think all of those are actually really, really valuable. Fantastic. Yes, running a large event, feeding your people, letting them know that you're taking care of them is fantastic. And it's just a huge thing for people's morale. And to let them know that they are noticed and feeling appreciated. And yes, people are looking for community, whether it's serving or attending. Both work. Both are great places to get people connected and plugged in. So I really, really love all of that. There were a couple of questions about maybe locations and finding locations. So perhaps where have you done rallies? Like you said you'd done one in your home, obviously. What about your larger venues?
Typically a hotel is going to be a larger venue that, at least where I'm in the DFW Metroplex.
Right.
So there's just not a lot of options around here. Now you can find restaurants sometimes that have smaller rooms that you can rent, but you just want to be mindful of the equipment possibility. Right. You're going to have a PowerPoint presentation up on a screen. You want to have good sound system. And then I will warn you, if you've never done an event at a hotel before, they're expensive. Like, it will cost you way more money than you think it will, especially when you add in all the service fees and then the taxes and the audio visual. Like, it adds up very quickly. And so you definitely want to charge for your tickets. You want to, actually, I recommend to my people, charge for tickets no matter what, even if you're hosting it in your living room, because that brings accountability into the picture, and people are more likely to attend if they've actually invested even just $5 or $10 into an event.
Perfect. That's another great tip, and I'm glad you brought it up, because we get that question a lot. We get, what's the platform you use or has been the best so far to getting people registered and charging for tickets?
I only use Oily Events. I love it because they take a portion of the proceeds and they donate it back to the foundation. So I've used Eventbrite, and then as soon as Oily Events came on the scene, I switched and haven't looked back. Fantastic.
Okay, awesome. Well, I just wanted to let everyone know that I'm going to just put in the comments here again the Facebook page, and please utilize that page for sharing. Hopefully, less.
Not for tech support.
Yeah, yep, that's not for tech support. We can't do anything from a distance for you, but the great thing about that is if you do have a question, and you present it in a timely way, typically someone in the group can actually answer you and give you some ideas and tips. It's not a cure-all, but it's certainly a great place to build community, and I think you'll find a real benefit in joining the Facebook group. So please join. If one thing I wanted to let you know, for those of you that are adding members, if you don't answer the questions and if you're not a host, you won't be accepted into the group. I'm really trying to keep the group for hosts only. And that is also just in case of emergency. If I ever have to post any of the video links and stuff out there, I don't want that going to the masses and to people who aren't invested in the rallies and would have a sense of urgency about keeping things private. So I've got the...
A comment about that?
Yes.
Okay, real quick. It's true. It's an honor to be a host for a rally. And with that honor comes responsibility. And one of those responsibilities is being able to maintain privacy about what's coming. So if Emily is presenting us with information ahead of time, it is our responsibility to keep that information quiet and under wraps until the day of the rally. It's so, so important.
Yeah, right. Yeah, absolutely. And that's why we leave things to the last minute, honestly. That's why we change and try and send things out right towards the end. We don't want you guys to be tempted in any way to just leak things out. And so we want to keep this as professional as possible. We know every single person has invested in making this rally day a reality. And so we're just really grateful to have you as hosts. So just remember, join the group. If you want to get other people to join the group, please have them answer the questions and let us know where they're planning on hosting a rally. And we'd love to have you all join us there. So Alyssa, thank you again so much for being our guest today. You just shared a lot of great insights, and we're really, really happy to have you a part of this. We are going to record this call, or it is recording. I will have it up on the Facebook page probably in the next hour or so. You can share it. You can have other people in your team listen to it, and we will catch up with you same time next week. So thanks, everyone. We'll talk to you later. Bye. Thanks, Alyssa. Bye.
Thanks so much.